Now, some Democrats are admitting that they wish they would have had an open primary and forced old Joe out of the race sooner. And you may recall that when Joe Biden, when Joe Biden's staff posted his resignation letter basically on social media announcing he was stepping down from the campaign, it did not endorse Kamala Harris, which was very odd because that's the vice president's job, to be there and be ready in case something like this happens. And then it was only like 20 minutes later that there was a follow-up random tweet. Oh, by the way, I fully endorse Kamala Harris. So there was the internal coup. There was a power struggle within the Democrat Party about whether they were going to have an open primary or whether or not Joe Biden's staff was going to endorse Kamala on his behalf and then try to push her across the finish line. And because so many blacks and Latinos voted for Donald Trump this time around, despite 8 years of the liberal media calling him Hitler and a racist and a Nazi, they are actually surprisingly laying off the racist accusations and instead are focusing on social media and the algorithms and Elon Musk. And they're upset, this from the New York Times, Republicans built an ecosystem of influencers. Some Democrats want one too. Kamala Harris had the support of countless A-list Hollywood actors and musicians and the entire Hollywood entertainment industrial complex. It was the most celebrity-studded, celebrity-endorsed campaign in history. So now they're blaming the lack of liberal influencers on Kamala's loss. But they did have some synthetic sissy boys like Harry Sisson, who is such a brilliant political commentator. This was his expectation of the big debate between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. You know, the debate that completely destroyed Joe Biden's chances of staying in the race?
So what's actually going to happen is that Joe Biden's going to get up on that debate stage and slap Donald Trump around for 90 minutes, and then all of these Trump supporters are going to be incredibly sad over his performance. They'll never admit this, but they know it's true.
The same clown which tweeted back in June, "Riddle me this, MAGA. How is Biden weaponized the Justice Department if his own son is on trial? And he's saying he will not pardon him if convicted. Your whole argument kind of crumbles, doesn't it? Embarrassing." No, you are embarrassing. Don Lemon's trying to be an influencer these days with his YouTube channel since he was fired from CNN. And surprisingly, he has accumulated almost 300,000 subscribers. And that's a decent amount, but it doesn't matter really how many subscribers you have. There are many channels which have gotten millions and millions and millions of subscribers, but then they can't keep their audience. And so people don't unsubscribe from them, they just stop watching them. And so Don Lemon can barely get 10,000 views on a video. I always use the example of Glozell Green, who became a viral sensation doing the cinnamon challenge. Remember those idiotic days? People were trying to swallow a spoonful of cinnamon and choking, and she bathed in a bathtub of cereal, which then got her an interview with Barack Obama back during the Obama administration. And she accumulated 4.5 million subscribers, but one-trick ponies like that can't hold an audience. So she basically gave up on YouTube, but just looking at the latest uploads, you could see how, well, people didn't unsubscribe to her channel. They just completely ignore her, with her latest uploads getting 25,000 views, 37,000, 30,000, 14,000 views, when she still has 4.5 million subscribers. Surprisingly, one of the biggest liberal YouTubers, we all know about Chunk Yogurt and Anna Kasparian over at the Young Turds, is David Pakman, which I guess shouldn't be surprising since we know how many morons there are out in our society. And he has accumulated 2.69 million subscribers, thanks to the help of MSNBC and other mainstream sellouts like Howard Stern, who is a huge fan.
Okay, so why do I watch David Pakman? I like this guy. That's all my point is. He's dealing in facts, and I like him.
He deals in facts, eh, Howard? And he has such a brilliant political mind. This was his analysis after the Hunter Biden guilty verdicts.
Radical and repugnant reactionary Congresswoman Lauren Boebert tweeting out some very, very hard stuff, saying, quote, "Hunter Biden was proven guilty. How long until dear old dad gets involved and fixes this all up for him? These are extraordinarily stiff allegations coming from Lauren Boebert, particularly since Joe Biden said himself just days ago he's not going to get involved. He's going to respect the decision of the jury. He's not going to be pardoning his son, Hunter Biden. Take a look at this. He is on the record saying it. But these MAGA types don't care. They'll whatever they can say, which really should be applied to Trump, they will say. But
these MAGA types just don't believe what Joe Biden says. And surprisingly, Fareed Zakaria, who still has a show on CNN, which I think is on the weekends, which might get a few thousand viewers, he did have this insightful take on the situation.
Democrats now say that they need their own Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, except that they had them in Elon Musk and Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Rogan was a Bernie bro. In 2022, Musk said he voted overwhelmingly for Democrats historically, and he only ended up endorsing Trump after his attempted assassination. This is not an endorsement of either Rogan or Musk, who are strange characters and have gone on their own complicated political journeys. But it is a critique of policies that have needlessly alienated many young aspirational voters. Politics is a game of addition, and rather than growing their base, the Democrats are subtracting from it while Donald Trump is expanding his fans.
Yeah.
If Trump is able to maintain or expand support among young Hispanic and Asian men, and perhaps even bring young black men into the fold, he will have created for Republicans what has so far eluded them, a working MAGA majority coalition.
In other words, the Democrat Party became so crazy and started catering to a tiny minority of complete lunatics that, thankfully, the people who didn't have Trump derangement syndrome or come down with the liberal pathogen said, I don't want anything to do with them anymore. And thank God we got Donald Trump, who just met with Canada's Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, down in Mar-a-Lago. And then this was the report that came out of that meeting.
And tonight we're getting some new details about that Trump-Trudeau dinner from two people who were at the table. We are told that when Trudeau told President-elect Trump that new tariffs would kill the Canadian economy, Trump joked to him that if Canada can't survive without ripping off the U.S. to the tune of $100 billion a year, then maybe Canada should become the 51st state and Trudeau could become its governor. Right.
Of more on that detail with the panel. Peter, thank you.
And thank you to Joe Biden as well for providing us with that October gift just before the election, calling us all garbage, and for pardoning your son, further tarnishing the reputation of the Democrat Party and those in the mainstream media. Here is Andrew McCabe, former deputy director of the FBI, who is extremely concerned about what this is going to do for the reputation of the Department of Justice.
The effect of that very broad 10-year time frame is ironically
when he pardoned him for any and all crimes over the last decade that are known or unknown. Not just the gun violation and the tax charges, just anything and everything he may have done over the last decade.
it will perpetuate the conspiracy theories and the accusations around Hunter Biden. They'll never be resolved criminally, but it gives his detractors the opportunity to say, oh, well, he must have done something in 2014 to require a pardon going back that far.
This pardon has tarnished the Democrat Party so bad that they can't help but admit things like this on CNN now.
This pardon will tarnish Joe Biden's legacy. I mean, Joe Biden, let's be clear here, he lied to us for a long time. He said categorically, I will not pardon my son. He said, I will take it off the table. And he couched it in very high-minded terminology. I respect the Justice Department. I respect the jury's verdict. Well, now he's gone back on that. I don't know how many people actually believed him.
Nobody believed him. And now all of you in the media have egg on your face for pretending like he meant what he said. And I mean this. My online store, markdice.com, has been fully redesigned and stocked with a whole bunch of new products, including the MAGA Christmas and Happy 4 More Years sweatshirt and t-shirt. Trump Claus is back. But if you go to the site and then you click up on the top under the drinkware section, get a load of all of these new mugs. Most of my designs now available in mugs and in glasses. They're also available in 3 different sizes: the standard 11-ounce, a slightly larger 15-ounce, and a 20-ounce mug. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.